This is Just AMZN on Thursday, June 17th, 2021. So today we had a really big, strong bullish candle. Definitely not a plus sign looking bearish candle sitting here on this downtrend line. So yeah, we were totally breaking out. We just stayed above the 21 all day. We actually crossed through it here after a slight gap down. I zoomed way in. We didn't touch it here, didn't touch it here. And then I think we were a few cents into it here, and then obviously through here at the end of the day. So we never got a close below the 21 all day. So it was just a bullish day all around. But the problem was for the options. So the 3,500 strike call and the 3,300 strike put, they just kept going in the direction they were going. So the call kept going up, the put just kept going down. We didn't get back anywhere near either of these lines. And so early on in the day, it was really time to look for a new strike. And so what do? You can go out further in time. So we could go look at July 2nd would be the next week out, or we could go and look a little further away in price. We can go look at like 3,600 and be away a little bit further. We can kind of look at, what levels was this holding? Is there anything working already during the day? And what I like, and obviously this is hindsight. So if we go roll it back and see, okay, what's happening, through here, we had a large lower wick. We've got a nice small range, I mean, this is only a few dollars here. So $100 risk, you could do like 6 by 5, that kind of thing could set up here. As this is kind of making some lower highs, relative lows, and starts to break down a little bit, it's like, okay, well, is that what I really want to get into? Is do I have my rules set up to do that? Is it holding some previous resistance a little bit here around 6, and then it pulls back through? So even right here, it could look like a nice setup. With the put, gets a little harder just because it just did continue to sell off. If I line it up with the same time, where are we at? So like right here, we could get a little more of a retest. This is still really expensive to be looking at this price. Yeah, wow, that's really expensive still. So we're really far away from that. No, wait, at the beginning of the day, at the beginning of the day, yeah, we were really close to 3,400. Never mind. So that doesn't really work to look at this one. Let's go back to 3,300 for a sec. So beginning of the day like this, yeah, we're just selling off, a hard sell off, and then this turns into just a little bit of an uptick. It doesn't even get back into the lows here. So I don't really like this in terms of, some sustained buying back up here, pushing this lower to get back into the low. Obviously, if you look at the rest of the day, you can see, oh, that's a great morning star reversal right here. And oh yeah, that turned into an evening star reversal. To me, it just didn't set up as cleanly as we've seen the other days, where we've had a level. It's been a really consistent level. So this is something we just have to be a little more dynamic throughout the day. So staying with the call. So let's stay with the 3,600 call, because it does run up, makes a new high in the day. It does come back down a little bit into the $7 price, and that is doing a better job at retesting the high here and the high here. And so it gives you some opportunities to look at, okay, what is it doing? What's it holding? It gets back into the 21 again here. So it's like, okay, if we missed it here, if we chose not to buy it here, and it's giving me the same setup again, and ignore the cyan line for now. I don't really even need to talk about that at this point, but there is a line there I drew a while back. It's an extension of a channel. It's not really lining up with anything right now. So I'm going to keep it on here in case it does. But, we're way up here. We're at, let's see, this kind of level here. So we got a little more room to go to get back up to this open. I don't really have much resistance other than that. So I should continue on bullish. So if I'm going sideways here and I'm right around this $7 price, I'm sorry, I'm showing too much, but this is where I'm thinking. So I'm coming back into the 21. If I hold the 21, I could buy right here. $7 is a nice price. I can get my stop down at 6 in this gap. That's a really good setup. So buying at 7, stop at 6. I don't have the RSI kind of ticking below the 30 line that I've got here. And then let's move this forward a little bit more. I do have the 3,300 put being above the 65 line here. So that's looking a little bit oversold overbought or too strong or something on this option. If we move closer at this point, maybe we could have moved closer. to the 3,400 and the 3,400 put, and it looks similar. It's running up a little bit, doesn't quite get back into a low here, so it's not really showing that it's a similar level looking to roll over. So this would be one that you could take, but if you have, I didn't have rules set up to get me into this one, but it still worked out to be a really great setup. For Thursday, you could have bought around 7. Even if that starts breaking out, look for a pullback. If you're looking at 8, that didn't work. So 7 was kind of the place to get in, where you got some smaller candles through here. You could buy at 7, stop down at 6, and then for Thursday, look for 4R, and that would have been getting out up here at 11. That worked. It did end up pushing a little bit higher than that. And then the 3,600 strike is obviously, another 100 away from where we have been looking at the 3,500, but we're getting so close to the 3,500. We almost got up to that price. We're basically at the money. I don't even think there was another strike in between from when we hit the high. The high was 34.9720. I don't think we have $2.50 strikes right now. I think those went away a while back. So we have $5 strikes and $10 strikes right now. And so at this point, that's at the money. So it's going to be much more expensive to be trading at the 3,500, especially as we get at the end of the day here. But we can still take signals from other strikes, other options. We just had to make some adjustments today. So if we kind of end this looking at here, we can see, yeah, there were some decent moves. There was some sideways, some rest on the option here that, corresponded to some of the rest, a little bit of a recovery of the put price. Really like that the RSI moved way up and then just tumbled from there. Would have liked to see this RSI on the call come down a little further. If it had ticked below here, put in like a little cyan line below the 30, that would have been nice. Didn't quite get below the 30 here. I don't think it, oh wait, you know what? Let me zoom in on this. I think I do see a little bit of cyan there. So yep, a tiny bit. So right here, we did get to that price. So that would have been kind of the only signal here on the 5 minute of the stock saying, hey, that's a good place to be watching this. I think I still wouldn't have gotten in just with where I've got my rules and the ideal setups that I'm looking for. So yeah, it was really similar to this earlier. It had a really nice move here. If it did the same thing and had a similar move, you could be looking to kind of front run any sort of selling and be getting out possibly before 11. So let's see, yeah, it didn't quite hit 11 there, and then it pushed up through right here. So you would have been in that for about this amount of time. That's not too bad, hour and a half, 2 hours being in that trade. Or if you were looking to get out a little bit earlier, thinking, okay, well, let me just protect. It's not going to run forever, which who knows, maybe it will. You could have gotten out at, gotten in at 7 and gotten out at 10. If it looks like it's stalling out here, especially if it doesn't, if you were in this and looking at for a target of 11 and it didn't hit 11, I would get that stop tightened up and probably into this gap here. So right around 9. So you would have been up 2R. It's possible this could have stopped you out. It was only was off by about 10 cents there with the low. It's possible that could have wicked you out, but that still would have been a 2R gain. And then actually, you know what? No, if this is, you probably wouldn't have moved your stop yet. If it got up here close to 11, then you could have moved and didn't fill at 11. Then you could have moved your stop up to 9 and move your target probably. This is where I kind of go back and forth. Just get out at 11, especially if it's stalling out. That would have worked. If you pushed it out to like 11:50 or 12, you really took that end of the day rally or near end of the day rally to get out of it. I think I would have left at 11, especially if it's been going so slowly, steadily up. It's like, let's not ask it to do a little bit more and give me 5R. Let me just get out at the 4R that I originally looked at. Especially if I don't get enough of a rest or a pullback into the lower levels of the RSI. This is showing it's got, some continued buying, some continued strength. And it did finally show that here where you're able to get out 11. So I think that's what I would have done, again, in hindsight, but it's good to just kind of be able to look through the options, look through some different things. Going out to July 2nd, go ahead and do that for yourself. But I did that and the volume is really low. So I went out to the July 9th date, went out to July 16th, just looking out the next few weeks. The volume's all pretty low. So next week's volume is still decent, even at these strikes. It's pretty good. So this is something that I'm just trying to figure out and get the best idea of what strikes and what date. But this is the first time all week we've had to go and look at different strikes, because the ones that we've been following have moved, or the price has moved so much. The ones we've been following are no longer affordable for a $100 risk, and we can still get some of those same signals, but we've not seen a move like this in a while. So I've been used to watching it through here. So part of that has to do with the volatility, the range of the day, what kind of moves it's making. We've got the squeeze that came in and fired. So we've been in this bullish move. Obviously, at some point, we're going to need to start looking at different strikes. That happened today. So we'll see if we can continue looking at these for tomorrow. If we are able to kind of hold back down into this like $10 price, I like that we're right in here. I'll be looking for like a 10 by 9 to go bullish, continue on up. And conversely, if we do start to show any sort of rollover or maybe gap down, if we have any weakness come in, this could, maybe flash down to 10 or something. I'd be looking for that to hold, and then see if we can kind of start to rally back up into, maybe some of these prices here. I don't know how close we'll get to 3,400 unless we have a significant sell-off. I was looking back at the daily. That's a mess, I know. Where we're at way up here, trying to figure out, is this the highest bullish close we've had? It was higher than these closes, higher than this bullish close. We did have this candle close over here just below 3,500 at 34.9912. That was our only other higher bullish close than today's. So that just shows you the strength. But this is now 1, 2, 3, 4 times we've been up in this area, and we have sold off from each of them. So I would look for this to slow down and then to roll back down, and at some point come back down like to this red line, and put in some sort of, continue this channel, continue to go sideways. That's what I'm looking for. If we completely break out of here, then we'll play it that way. Tomorrow is the end of the week, so we can take a look at the weekly chart. We're right in the middle of June, but you can still go ahead and take a look at the monthly to see how that is moving. We have been making higher lows. We're making relative highs here. So, and we could also do something where we've got a little bit more of a triangle and fill in this space up over here. We did a little bit more of that. Well, I guess we kind of followed that up a little bit till we broke down, but we didn't get quite back up this high. You could count this as another high in this range. So if we consider, let me highlight what I'm seeing. All of this, no, I missed it. If we consider all of this the resistance zone, I missed it again. All of this a resistance zone, then we've sold off from here multiple times. So we'll see if we can do anything else in this zone. I think I'll have to look back at the 5 minute. I think I may have some other lines drawn on the 5 minute up here as well. I know I did at the 33.6680, which has been a really reliable price earlier in the week, and now we've just run from that. So yeah, I guess we'll switch this back. There we go. Now that's a lot easier to see. All right, so we'll see how things turn out here. This has been a really nice bullish run. Does not have to stop, but we just want to be, tightening up stops if you're in a longer position, with options, especially to see if you can get your stops in a good place that we don't, pull back too far to hit that. We can have it tighter, or we can get into some protection with puts if it does come back down. Yeah, there's not much resistance from here to the all-time high, so we could just continue on running and move up to there soon as well. Hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.